This happened last Thursday, and before you ask, yes, I told the cops everything. I teach a class of about 30 students on a normal day, including those who tie in virtually. I have a hard time keeping their attention, except when I'm talking about sex ed. So I knew that when the actual lockdown was happening, most of them were just going to shrug it off and not pay attention. They didn't realize how real the threat was. We have always said that we would be fine, but when that announcement came over the speaker, I don't think any of us were. And my job as their teacher was to keep them calm and collected as we left our classroom and went to our designated spot, a computer room a few doors down. The plan was simple. We would barricade the door while security roamed the halls and found the danger. I told myself that it was all going to go exactly according to plan, just like it had during our dozens of drills. It happened midway down the South Hall, as we were going in between the rooms. The roar of the air conditioner turned on louder than usual, and it made all of us stop to look. Then, some sort of strange purple mist was pouring out of the vents. It looked like a cloud of electric mist. "What the hell is that?" one student asked as it snaked its way out of the vent toward us. I knew that whatever it was, it had to be dangerous. But sadly, my students weren't as bright. One boy reached his hand out inquisitively and tried to touch the cloud. I watched as bolts of lightning coursed through his body and made him light up like a Christmas tree. It was terrifying to behold. And the lightning entered and scorched his bones. Then he fell to the ground, and all of us watched as the strange mist pushed its way out of his mouth and nostrils. It was alive. "Run!" I urged the kids as we made it to the computer room. I told a larger kid to block the door, and I got on my walkie-talkie to tell the principal what was happening. "We've got a problem in the south wing," I shouted. I was only greeted by static. Then the air started to roar again, and we realized the same mist was pushing its way into the computer room. We were trapped. "Out the window," I urged them. Suddenly, the strange alien cloud was moving faster, hitting 3 different students one by one. They fell unconscious to the floor in less than a second. Meanwhile, a few girls were prying the window open, calling to some of the kids down in the football field to help. But they only got a few words out before the cloud engulfed them as well. Before I knew what was happening, I was standing in a room of dead kids. The cloud swirled about, seemingly staring me down as I fearfully backed away to one of the walls. Then, perhaps full from its feasts, it dissipated. The cameras didn't show anything except the fact that the kids had mysteriously collapsed. The medical report said it was some kind of shock or heart condition, and some parents accepted that. But I know what I saw, and I'm worried that it's still inside our vents, waiting for the next drill to strike again. The bell rings. Mr. Solomon says something to us about how this is not a drill, but honestly, I'm not really paying attention. You know how everything works so perfectly whenever you practice, but then the real thing occurs, and you feel like a chicken with your head cut off. As my friends are shuffling out toward the hallway, that's exactly how I feel. I don't recall what we are supposed to be doing, so I just keep quiet and follow the crowd as we head for the gym. I mentally wonder how many of us actually don't have a clue. What if we were just like lemmings being led off a cliff? In the gym, Principal McSchroeder is asking for different honor roll students to do a head count, make sure we are all here. I can't help but to notice the confusion on everyone's faces. We really weren't expecting this. Everyone is wondering, is this for real or just another drill? Of course, the teachers don't tell us. We're just supposed to obey and do as we're told. "Looks like everyone is accounted for," one girl tells the principal. Something about all of this feels wrong. Like a floodgate, the memories of all our drills are pouring into my head. We never came to this gym before. I can't help but to feel claustrophobic. What if this was some kind of trap? I look around. There's got to be at least 900 kids in here. And I realize that I don't feel safe in this crowd. This is not what we are supposed to be doing. I push through, mumbling excuses as I wriggle toward the back hallway. We always went to the closet bathroom and locked ourselves inside. Always, 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 I thought. And as I made it out toward the rear, I could hear myself think clearly again, and I pulled out my phone to text my best friend, Seth. "Get out of the gym, not safe," is all I can think of to say. I didn't really have an explanation to back up that statement, just a feeling. Then a soft ping made a few students look toward me as I was told to silence my phone, and I read a message that made my heart drop. I'm not in the gym. What are you on about? Now my heart is racing. The entire scene of getting here plays out in my mind again. As I look up, I realize the entire auditorium is staring at me. No one is blinking. The back of my neck feels sweaty as I cling to the wall. Where the hell am I? I see an emergency exit next to me and stumble through it. I ran like the devil himself was chasing me. I made it all the way to the east bathroom, the one I was supposed to be at, and ducked inside. When I saw familiar faces, I felt a rush of relief. And where exactly have you been? Mr. Solomon asked angrily. My mind flashed back to the gym. Who the hell did I just follow? I can't explain right now. Just follow me, I replied as I quickly led him toward the gym, frightened and worried about what we would see. We stepped inside as Mr. Solomon locked the door behind him. I turn around as he pulls a gun out from under his jacket. You should have paid attention in class. No, wait! Miss Shriver was just finishing a lecture about gun safety when she unlocked her closet and pulled out the strange-looking doll. It was about 5 foot tall, a genderless bland mannequin that looked like it had seen better days, with rubber eyeballs glued in and a wavy smile taped on. A few of the girls in the back of the class giggled at how silly it looked. Class, this is Lockdown Larry. Now I know that he doesn't look like much, but he's going to teach us all about what happens when we don't follow the rules on safety, Miss Shriver explained. Immediately, Bradley Colt burst out laughing right behind me. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Is it supposed to be a CPR dummy? How is a mannequin supposed to help us? Some of the other students muttered and laughed in agreement. It was a bit absurd, but our English teacher did not look amused. She grabbed her ruler and smacked it right against my desk. Her eyes seemed to convey nothing but pure rage. Because, Bradley, if we are just as complacent as this dumb doll, as you call it, then we're going to be in danger when a lockdown happens. We all need to be aware of what our role is in, but she didn't get to finish. Colt just simply could not stop laughing. He was literally red in the face. And then Shriver got that way too, but for an entirely different reason. She was angry. She opened her mouth to say something else when over the intercom, an announcement was made that we were doing a lockdown drill. Then she smiled. It did not seem like a friendly smile. Well, this is a perfect chance for us to all see what happens when we don't respect our rules, she muttered. Bradley rolled his eyes and crossed his arms as the rest of us got over toward the wall. Class, I want all of you to head for the science hall. Bradley, you'll stay here and learn your lesson, our teacher announced. Colt just laughed again, but sounded a little nervous. I think we all were. Miss Shriver was one of those teachers that you simply didn't want to cross. So the rest of us quietly shuffled out, and she stayed behind with him. We kept our heads down and wondered what sort of punishment she was about to dish out for poor Bradley. The bell rang about 5 minutes later, and it was time to get back to class. All of us imagined there was going to be some kind of lecture, and Bradley was going to be making a proper apology when we came in. But instead, when we got into the classroom, we saw something that made our blood run cold. Now, instead of one mannequin, there were two. And upon closer inspection of it, we realized the second lifelike doll looked exactly like Bradley Colt. Miss Shriver smiled in a sinister way as we looked toward her. Now, class, let's all turn our attention to page 42 of our history books. Bradley's mannequin stayed perfectly still the rest of class. After school, I overheard Miss Shriver tell his parents that there had been an accident during the lockdown drill. They swore up and down they were going to sue her and the school. I thought about telling them the truth of the strange evil that had overtaken him, but then I saw Miss Shriver smile again, and my heart dropped. Don't forget the lesson of Lockdown Larry, she whispered to us as we left school. And I knew we were all wondering the same question. What the hell did she do to Bradley? Thanks for listening. If you enjoy these stories, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and check out some more of my episodes here.